Yo, what is going on, guys? Godrekton here, bringing you another VOD review. In this game, we are playing against the Gangplank matchup, a matchup that is rated very difficult by many Renekton players, including myself. I find this matchup very hard to be consistent with, until recently when I've changed my whole playstyle around and my mindset towards the game. And since I have done this, I have managed to outperform a lot of Gangplank players, and I found this game specifically very interesting and useful for myself on how to play the Gangplank lane. And again, I really hope this all helps you too. I'm going to try the best that I can to explain this matchup. And yeah, let's get into the review. So more context about this game. We are playing in Masters 180 LP at the moment. We again have made more progress within our climb, getting closer and closer to Grandmasters, which is ultimately my end goal for the season. So, this game as well was very difficult, and I think it's going to help a lot of people out because while I have a pretty good laning phase, I do have a very troublesome mid game where my teammates wasn't really cooperating with me, and they didn't really understand our roles within the game. Now, I kind of knew what our win condition was, and in games like this, you want to identify your win condition, like what champion is, or like what champions are going to scale and what champions aren't going to scale. You kind of need to like tick things off for yourself and try to understand like where your strengths lie. Is it your early game? Is it your late game? Is it your team fighting, skirmishing, whatever it might be? In Champ Select, you should be thinking about these things before you play a game. Like, go by like, you know, what you think is correct and play towards that. Let's talk about our comp though before we get into the review itself. So we have a Rumble, Kale, Vayne, Lulu, and a Renekton. All these champions scale very well into the game, including Renekton too. Renekton's itemization in Season 11 allows him to be more relevant within the game. This comes by from Sterux, Godrekton, GA, Gargoyle, 4 bruiser items that are very strong that keep Renekton in the game. Strikebreaker too. Strikebreaker gives more utility when it comes to team fights, allowing Renekton to be more prevalent. When it comes to other playstyles too, like full AD, Renekton has Prowler's Claw, Blair Rune King, Cleaver, Abyssal Master Key. Renekton is just perfect with how he can itemize. He is super versatile within the game, and it just helps him be relevant at all stages. Their team is more like relied on skirmishing, so they want to look for fights in river, try and like get picks, try and one-shot people before objectives. Like that's their composition here. They have a really awkward like scaling. So if you imagine a graph, our team comp is here, and it's gonna be like this, like very slow. Maybe it'll dip a little bit and then it'll go up. Because we have Vayne, which is really good late game. Cal, super good late game too. Rumble, really good mid-game champion, very good late game too with his ultimate. It is such a low cooldown at the moment. He can get up to like, I think down to like 40 seconds at second rank. And that alone can force you a lot of fights and give you a lot of winning opportunities. Their team is more of like strong early, and it's more so strong mid-game, their team. So we kind of have to play a bit cautiously for the mid-game. But as you soon see, it's going to be a little bit far from that. So, let's just speed up the review a little bit and the game itself. So in this matchup, I highly recommend D-Shield Rush. D-Shield allows you to negate the poke from Gangplank's Q. Gangplank will often try to get his grasp proc, and then he will try to Q you. So you always want to look at his grasp, like see when it's stacked, because when it isn't stacked, he is not going to Q for you if he is a competent Gangplank player. If he's spamming the Q constantly on you, he will waste all of his mana, and he won't get the damage he wants to get off on you. So it is a really important thing to know within this lane. Just check how he's like using his Q ability, because that'll tell you all about the Gangplank player that you're against. In Runes too, I took Second Wind. Obviously, like the Kennen and Jace matchup I talked about recently, having that Second Wind gives you that permanent sustain in lane, where you don't need to back, you can greed for more trades. Like Second Wind, this helps you out-sustain a lot of your laners. Secondly, took Overgrowth, of course, as I explained in other videos too. I like having that additional health to make up for the R health loss that was nerfed quite recently, a few patches ago. Well, 6 patches ago now, but still. It's a really great rune. I also took Conqueror in this lane because my mythic of choice was Stridebreaker, and the reason I go Stridebreaker is because it gives me more ways to catch a Gangplank within the lane. And when it comes to team fights, I have a lot of control over it with my slow. I have more ways of dashing onto the backline too. It's a very flexible item. When you look at Prowler's Claw and Godrekton is more for frontlining. You want to be in the middle of fights or up in their face. Like, you want to tank everything. Prowler's Claw is you want to play a bit cautiously and then look for the one-shots on the enemy team. Strikebreaker gives you a mix between both because you can have a lot of damage with the setup you're going. And you can jump on the backline, you can tank, like it's a very flexible item. And in this game specifically, I wanted that utility for my team so I could slow. My Vayne can like, my Vayne and Kale can like run up and auto attack. Like they have to space with the autos, so like they can play around me pretty well. I have a Lulu too. Like this game was a perfect Strikebreaker game. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the review. I also took double Adaptive Force. I often take attack speed at least once in runes, but for a lane like Gangplank, where I'm going to be playing a lot with my Q, trying to poke him back, and not so much my auto attacks, I'd rather just like have that additional AD, because the more AD, the more health I'm healing with my Q, and the more damage I'm applying onto the Gangplank. So level 1, I don't leash here. Gangplank is currently doing blue buff, or at least I believe so at the time. He walks up, his health is missing. That gives us a clear indication that he was on the blue buff. That's how we know. So I don't think I ping it right now, or do I? Who pinged this? It was Lulu. So at the time, I didn't really notice this, so I should have pinged this. Now, if your laner is ever missing health or mana, you know straight away that they are leashing for their jungler. And it is in your best interest to provide that insight for your team, because then they will know how to play off the enemy jungler. Because in higher elo, it is all about knowing where the jungler is. It is jungle tracking 101. If you can track the jungler and play around that, you can provide more plays for yourself within the lane, because you don't have to worry about where the enemy jungler is and you have to overthink it. Like, oh, did he start bot side? Is he coming top lane now? Is he going bot? Like, for a lot of players, they don't jungle track near successfully. And they don't even spot half of these things too. Like, these little indicators that they just leashed. Like, a lot of it is just autopilot. Like, they come in lane, they stop pushing the minions out, push in, and because they didn't track the jungle, they get ganked, permanently die, and then they're in a losing matchup. And that's a big, common mistake I see with Renekton players. I mean, even just top laners in lower elo, they make a lot of these mistakes. So, it is in your best interest to constantly be playing the game. Like, from 0 seconds, not even 0 seconds, from loading screen, you want to be playing the matchup. Like, you want to see... You want to be thinking right away in the game, like, where's the jungle going to start? How am I going to play? Like, these are the questions you have to ask yourself. You want to be very proactive within your mind, because then that can give you a quick start on how to play the game. So moving on, level 1, I'm just going to play my Q. Like I talked about in the Kenna matchup too, I want to play around his range. Gangplank Q range is like to here, so he could Q at this range, maybe a little bit closer, he has to walk up. But I have to keep this in mind. Like, he's going to often try and Q me if I'm within that attack range. Now, one thing I'm also looking at is the grass proc. So right now he hasn't got grass proc. I don't need to be so scared. I am sitting in the bush though to nullify poke. Me doing this presents him with a lack of opportunities to attack me. But because I also know that I have to, like, I don't have to be scared because there's no grass proc, I can just walk out and secure the minions. So I walk up, land my Q, miss one creep, which is fine. The benefit of that though was that I did get his bone playing and chunked a bit of his health. Because I have 2 adaptive force in my Q, I end up doing quite a lot of damage through his bone playing. So it really does make a difference, especially with Conqueror too. Conqueror just makes it such like an easy lane. So there's a grass proc. Right away, he hits me. Now, I want to be proactive here. I don't want to give him this lane, so I'm going to just like try and push hard. I want to get that level 2 before him. If I just let him like push and take the lane, I have no prior whatsoever. And Gangplank can use barrels and zone me off the minion wave. That is not what I want to do, and because I know that Kayn is topside, I want to push in. I want to make his life a living hell. I can't really kill him, but I can make him lose CS by shoving in, and I can give my jungler that prio needed to be relevant in the game. So So now Fury, Gangplank has to respect this. So I can zone him off the minion wave. I take E-second, going in, getting that empowered Q. I then walk back out. I don't really greed for another dash and auto attack because I would be here then. Gangplank would end up winning the trade with Grasp and he would get his barrels. Maybe he'll land a barrel, combo me too. So then I'll be losing the wave and I'll also be losing the minions and the momentum I just built from doing this EQ trade. So right now I am respecting the barrels and his Grasp proc. Lands a barrel there. You see, he's getting damage back on me now because I'm kind of playing the positioning a little bit weak. Although, because he's focusing on me, he's not focusing so much on the minions. So, I'm getting that initial push in. Ideally, I would rather have the wave here and not pushed out there because had a Kayn like started bot side and starts walking up, his gank time would be like right now. He would do his blue Gromp, maybe in 10 more seconds, come over the wall, and because I'm trying to crash the cannon wave in, I get ganked, maybe I have to blow flash and E, and it presents a really problematic opportunity. So I drop a ward down here. I probably didn't need to drop a ward down, but another thing about Kayn is that he could full clear and invade. Now, it is a bit weird from blue side. You often do it from red and then look for blue or something, because that's where the jungle is going to be. Trying to like do both of these camps. So that time Kayn will have an advantage, and in the moment, I don't think I really thought about this in Kayn, like, being bot side. So I did just throw the ward down, but in hindsight and watching the review, I now understand that he, like, started blue. And that he's what you call it? Pathing was from blue to red. So, again, this is more knowledge that I need with my own gameplay to improve as a player. And that's what I'll take on board next time. So, again, getting these EQs off. Gangplank is half health. He is at currently 2 Crumpton Potions. So right now, I'm kind of debating. Do I let the wave push to me? And I end up doing that because I can get a gank from Rumble. So now I'm just sitting in the bush. It has got a slow push towards me. I just have to be very patient. And because I didn't know where the jungle was at the time, I just kind of conceded the lane a little bit here and just let it push out. Either way, pushing in here is really hard to, like, not take a lot of damage from Gangplank. Like, he can get free poke on you. You can't really E him because the tower will hit you. And it is a bit problematic. So, like, maybe 30 seconds before, I could have just, like, last hitted, let the wave push back to me, and I'd be in a much better spot. Like, if the lane is, if the minion wave is in the middle, or, like, even here, I can, like, do many trades as I want. But because I am also pushing in, I am getting that priority needed for my jungler. So, while this could be a consequence for me, it is also a benefit, like, a pro, that, we are getting crab here. And Gangplank can never roam to the Scuttle Crab if he wanted without missing like a bunch of CS. So it ends up paying off in a way for us. I could auto Q there, but I ended up just queuing and walking back out. Do this quick trade. Get some damage off, and now I look for a reset. I should look for a reset. Do I look for a reset? I actually don't. So what I could have done here was I could have recalled right at this moment, and I think on my stream when I was recording this game, I actually did do that. But or like I thought about it at least. But yeah, because he's slow pushing in right now. And then this minion wave is like running in. It's a cannon wave too. I think the wave would end up being here. And I would get my recall off. I would walk back to lane. And then Gangplank would still be forced to stay in the lane. And because he's low on resources compared to me, which would have my Iron Bar at the time, Gangplank would have to reset, TP back to lane so it's not frozen. And then, you know, I burn his TP and that is huge for me. And I don't really sacrifice any, like... I mean, I sacrifice a little bit extra minions here, but... I'm still at the benefit of wasting his TP, which prevents him from TPing anywhere else on the map. Or after a death too. But it's not the end of the world. I can do this. Something I want to point out here too is when Gangplank has these barrels, he will sit on them like this. Because Renekton has really fast combos too, you can end up Q cancelling the barrel and then like buffering your W right after onto the Gangplank. And then Gangplank's kind of frozen here. Like, he has to burn his W again. Or if it's already on cooldown, I can get more damage off. And I can, like, minimize poke because he can't hit the barrel and end up winning the trade. As long as I'm using my Q a lot, I'm always winning the trade. For the most part. Yeah, right now I'm trying to look for an opportunity to, like, look for an EQ. I'm walking in and out with the movement, doing the little feint. Sorry, my mouse keeps on tugging. Yeah, I'm kind of just, like, making him guessing, moving around. Make it a little bit obvious there, but EQ, auto attack the barrel. If he was a bit closer to me, I could W right away, but I didn't. But in hindsight, this is something I can do. So right now, I recognize the wave's going to bounce back. Do I recall yet? I don't think I do. Rumble's backing, like, I think originally I thought Rumble could, like, gank my lane, but because I'm so pushed in, I can't really do anything with this, and he's wasting time if he was sitting topside. So right now, I burn Gangplank's W, I then push in. This matchup is about burning his W too. Like, when you want to do trades on Gangplank, you often want to do, like, an EQ auto attack, then W. He will then W to break out the stun fast, then, like, return damage on you or run away. And once that is gone, you then have a window for when you can abuse Gangplank next time. So if we look at his cooldown, it is 22 seconds. Our E is about 18 seconds. So with that being said, once our E comes back up, we have a few seconds to pull a trade on him. And that's where we can, like, do a lot of damage and keep Gangplank, like, at bay and also burn his, like, mana potions and stuff. So it's very important to track. Like if you're playing against a Gnar or a Shen, it's really important to track the Ws or the Es so you know when you can go in, because that is your trading opportunity. And as long as they don't have these abilities, you end up winning pretty hard. I mean, even getting it out in a trade that you don't want to prolong is a win in your book. Because then if your jungler is around and you are doing these, like, you have your E coming up and his W's down, you can go in, empower W, he's stunned, your jungler can come in and kill them. It's just like that, like, it gives you a victory, and it's just things you need to keep a mental note of within these lanes, and with how your jungler and stuff, or even, like, how you're positioned in the lane, because that can give you a free kill then. Like, let's say the wave's here instead, and I burn his W, and it's on cooldown. My E's back up, I have some fury built up, I go in, EQ, heal from the wave, do damage on him, auto, E in front of him, W. He's then, like, basically close to dying, has to burn flash, or maybe I end up killing him. It's things like that that can give you the kill. And that's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, we do a fast combo, we then shove in the wave. Perfect. Gangplank has to burn teleport in the process because I push him out. Next we buy a pickaxe. This could have been a really greedy buy from me. At the time I was thinking, is this worth it? Is it worth buying the pickaxe here? Maybe I want Tabby. Most often, I would recommend people to rush Tabby because once Gangplank does get the Sheen, that combined with Grasp and Corrupting Potion can do a lot of damage to people. And getting that Tabby gives you that extra bit of armor needed to prevent the Gangplank from being any bit of a threat. And, yeah, like, I think it's very useful if you haven't got, like, enough I mean, I don't know, it's up to you. If you want the AD, then take it. If you don't want the AD, then, you know, go Tabby. Tabby also helps that movement speed too, which can help you kite in and out and also, like, keep up with him more. His passive procs is his moon speed, so being able to keep up more can help you stick onto him and also get the kills onto that champion too. So that's something to keep an eye of as well. And another thing, like, in the early levels when you're fighting, do keep a note on the trial by fire too, because once he has that, he will look to auto attack you by walking up with Grasp. You want to back away, let him use on a minion, and then you can, like, do whatever you want. As long as you're not getting tagged by this and the constant Qs by using the bushes to prevent that from happening, you're often going to be in a very advantageous position with how you play the lane. So right now I'm just standing here trying to prevent poke. Gangplank walks out of vision. I end up just killing the whole wave. So I come by, drop a ward there. Now, I walk this way instead of here because if I walk here, this gives Gangplank an easy way to like land his E on me. And because I don't want to take damage, I'm going to go this way. I'm not really going to miss anything. I'll probably miss like one minion, but that also just saves me from like taking a bunch of damage. Actually, I don't even miss a minion. While we're on the topic of like this, level 1, I mean, I'm a little bit sporadic with how I'm like talking about the matchup, but that's just because things keep popping into my head, and I don't really play against Gangplank often. But some Gangplank players do like to cheese in this bush too. It is a bit of a throwaway thing just to talk about, because I didn't talk about it earlier. Gangplank will sometimes like stay in here level 1 to proc his passive. And, you know, he can chunk you out a bit early because he has Grasp, and he has like more of a combat like advantage level 1 with his auto attacks, his passive, Qs, Grasp, Bone Plating. So you end up like don't want to go this way too. You want to think in hindsight like if he's going to be here. So instead you path this way and then walk to the lane. That's just something to think about if you know their jungler isn't slime blue too. Power W off, I hit the barrels. Hitting the barrels, very essential. His Sheen also works on the barrels to do bonus damage. So killing these is a really big thing for me, having to do that. I lose some health, but he uses 2 corrupting pots out of that, and that's all I need there. Getting those corrupting pots is a big advantage, and I have my jungler playing topside now, so I can set the wave in a position where it's going to be here. Rumble can gank my lane, and Gangplank will have to blow flash, or potentially die. Because we warded earlier, I then see the Diana walk up before he planted the control ward. This is quite the misplay between the Diana. Like, if the Diana didn't show, I would not realize she's here, and I would aimlessly walk into the bush and probably die. I mean, either way, she pops up like this, so I guess I'll see her anyways and react in the moment. So I see her here, I'm like, nope, I'm not going there. This guy then flash, he ults me. I have to RE out. Fortunately, don't have the fury from my Power W. I E into the wall there for the animation cancel. I apply the armor shred, which obviously helps Rumble if he's in his overheat form, to do even more damage on his auto attacks. Perfect. This was a perfect gank by Rumble too. The ult was perfect. Like, this could not go any better. Right now I'm sustaining with the Conqueror, auto attacking to live, and like that we turn the 1v2. So that was pretty well played there. I'm going to speed this up a little bit now because this game is pretty long and I don't want to be doing a review forever. But I do want to do an extensive matchup review on the Gangplank lane. So we buy our tabbies now. I changed my mind before. I'm like, okay, I want tabbies. Gangplank's not going to do anything to me like I explained. So I get the tabbies here. Rumble's in my jungle. I can let this push towards me, but because Rumble was backing, I think I just decided to end up pushing out, I think. I'm not sure. But I don't know where Kayn is either, so I'm just slow pushing at the moment, waiting for something to happen. Hit the barrel again. If I'm not in range to auto attack, I'll just W instead. So I burn his W, which is pretty good. A lot of Gangplank players end up spamming their W, even like when it's not needed, so that gives me another victory there. He had like 170k in mastery too, so he was competent, but I think he did that as like a bad habit into the Renekton lane. So I see Diana now. I'm just kind of like last hitting the minions. Okay, I actually don't. I shouldn't even do this when I see Diana. I go to ward again in case she comes topside. So Diana showed mid. I want to reset the wave, so I'll walk into the middle of it, empowered Q. Get my EQ off, heal, push him in. He has to burn more mana. Kill the barrel. I'm playing here. Take the plants to prevent our junglers from getting the health. I'm also Kayn because maybe he does a camp and then like looks for the plants. So delaying that just makes him lesser health. So my objective at the moment is just to keep pushing Gangplank in. I can let it push out towards me, but I think I would only do that if I had my jungler by my side. Because that's when we can kill the Gangplank. I can't really 1v1 him because he has too many tools to escape our 1v1 at this current moment. So I'm often just pressuring him and letting him waste mana. Like, he's wasting a lot of mana here on potions to survive the lane. Cannon dies. Maybe, so the benefit of this too is that Gangplank's preoccupied on killing the minions, and because he has no TP from before, I still have mine. Because Kane's looking for a dive here, I can use the TP in a defensive manner to prevent them from using the dive. So Rumble's pinging my TP now to like alert me that I can use it. I buy my Iron Spike Whip, building the Stride Breaker. I then immediately TP. They're overextended. My team is walking towards me. This should be a prime example of a great TP and a, you know, really reactive like TPing from base. So I'm walking in. I ult for Fury first. So I don't like always doing this, but because I wanted Fury to ensure I one-shot someone, I build the Fury up. I Q to build Fury off the Ezreal and the minions. I cut her off here. She flashes out my range, unfortunately. I have got my empowered ability ready. My team couldn't help me, unfortunately. They are focusing the Kane, but I'm just buying time. I'm focusing these two. Empower W. Stride Breaker. I mean, Whip, auto attack, cancelling animations, more damage. I did want to auto attack in E, but I cancelled my auto before it went off. So with that, I don't get the empowered E, which would have one-shot the Zyra if we look at our damage. 215 based off the Conqueror as well. So that alone made it live for an extra like 2 seconds, and I had to burn my flash in a offensive manner. This is why Fury management is so important and why these mistakes cannot be made as a Renekton player. Because just like that, I waste my flash. I end up like dying now too for that kill. And if I Fury comboed properly, I could have like got my empowered Q back, I think. Actually, would I? Yeah. Yeah, like, in this moment, I didn't have to flash, and I would kill her. I could flash to my safety after the kill. I think I could still die to the Ezreal, though. He does have ult. But in hindsight, I misplayed it either way. That's the only thing that I need to take away there. My combo was misplayed. But on the bright side, we killed the Kayn. We killed the Zyra. She used Ignite on me. Ezreal healed too. So from that, my bot lane gets ahead. It sucks for me because I lose like a cannon worth of minions and he is getting tower planks from it. But sometimes you have to die for your team. I am very confident in my own ability to play my role, play my position. Like, I know what I should be doing to get into the game. Like I know what I have to do. Now, if I funnel my bot lane by giving these little kills, these like minions and stuff like that, they are going to get ahead, and that's all I need to validate my own play if I'm doing things right. I'm not really scared of the Gangplank killing me in 1v1s because we're not fighting to begin with. He gets a bit of a CS advantage, but I also get a kill from that TP. My bot lane gets some kills, and the enemy bot loses minions. Like, it ends up being more beneficial for me than it is for them. So, buy some more components. Nothing really happens from here, but I'll put Planet Control Ward down in case Diana roams. Diana's trying to like do a lot of roams, and because we bought the Control Ward and also warded this, I had the information that Diana was ganking. Now, had I have not placed the ward here, I could be pushing out. I might even like do a trade on Gangplank. Diana's behind me. Kayn is also behind me too. So, all these champs at top lane, I would die. I'll lose more playings, probably lose my tower too. And it'd be very terrible for me. That's all I need to like, you know, realize. So I didn't know Kayn was here, but what I end up wanting to do is that because she killed my ward and I have a trinket still, I wanted to walk here, then ward over the wall. But I also noticed the Kayn's here too, so I end up just sitting back. Try and push the minion waves out. Diana's back mid now, so I can play a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, vision is key though. Like, without vision, I would die here. 100%. Like, that's why it's so important to buy in your games, guys. So, Dragon's about to spawn. I am thinking about going down to Dragon. But knowing that... Actually, I didn't know Gangplank had TP. So right now, I push in. Gangplank is top lane. I'm just kind of waiting here to see if anything happens. I also want to be shoving in the waves. So Gangplank has nowhere to move. He can't TP down. Yeah, come out. Just keep pushing the wave in. Gangplank is still forced to stay. He's being very tricky here. I'm not allowed to get the plating. Gangplank's doing a really good job denying me. So I'm kind of forced to sit around. I'm just waiting for my goal for Stride Breaker and something else. I see Gangplank's backing. I'm kind of like, alright, he's finally going to back. Oh wait, no, he's here again. This is kind of how the lane is. It's a little bit boring. You're more so playing for the mid game. As long as you don't die early and maybe you play towards your jungler for killing the Gangplank, you're often going to be at like an advantage for yourself too. That's all the game is about and what Renekton's about. Getting these advantages. It doesn't matter how big and small they are, an advantage is an advantage. And by nature, you are getting the stronger and more favorable positions within the game. And that's what you need to really just play the champion. So we finally recall now. Our team's around Dragon. I do want to rotate down, so I end up buying the Stride Breaker. Do I roam down? Actually, I don't. I was thinking about roaming down because we're on the Dragon, but because they took it, I decided to go back to top lane. My team fights. So in this moment, I see this going on. I'm just pinging back. I don't want my team to fight this. I know we are not going to win because the enemy has more resources than us. And because we just did a Dragon and our health is a bit lower, we're naturally inclined to lose this fight. So I'm trying to get across that we're going to lose by spam pinging, but my team doesn't really follow my ideas here. So that's one ping. I'm pinging the Diana. They are staying here, which was really bad. I did not want them to do this. I knew they were going to die, and like my yeah, I can't say the word. Hypothesis, Lulu ends up dying. We lose like a lot of tempo on the map. Bot lane loses minions. Okay, she has to overstay. They're like at a item advantage. So it's just horrible for us, in a way. At this moment too, Kayle takes another tower mid. Wait, she does, right? Yeah. Takes another tower mid lane. Gangplank is still top lane. I'm trying to keep him here. Now, Kayle's walking top lane. So before we do this dive, what should we do? What does Gangplank have that could potentially stop us from diving him? He has his W, he has his bone plating, and he has his flash. That is 3 things. He uses all bot lane, so we don't have to worry about that one. But the bone plating and W is what we need to watch out for. So before we start the dive, I want to get rid of the bone plating. So I try and walk in. Get his bone plating now. So Kayle's coming in. All I need to do now is tank. So I bring in my R, get 50 Fury. Stride Breaker. He W's in panic because I didn't W right away. I W to keep in place. EQ. Q cancel. Actually, no, it's auto Q. Yeah, like that. Pretty clean dive. Before you do these things, though, it's really important to, like, assess the threat. Like, do an assessment before you make a play happen. Like, what does the enemy have that can stop you? What don't they have to prevent you? Like, these are the things you need to think about in the moment. So make sure you have a mental note of, like, these situations as well. It'll give you more knowledge and insight in how to play situations. And it also gives you foresight, too, on what you can and what you cannot do. So second, we're building towards our Stride Breaker. Kayle's top lane. While she's top, I'm going to go mid, cover for the lane, get some resources for myself. I throw a ward down because we see Zyra. Gotta speed this up a little bit more because I don't want this review dragging on for a while. It's already been 34 minutes and the game's pretty long, so you're going to notice me just speeding up. I'm only going to talk over the parts that, like, action's happening, or there's things I want to explain to give you guys insight as well within the game. Rumble is here. I was looking to see if there's, like, a play available, but they back away. Zyra goes bot, and I end up pushing the wave. I'm now following Rumble. Walking towards top lane. Kale's going bot here. This looks like a really bad play. I had teleport here, and I made a decision on whether or not I TP. I decided not to TP because my team's already going to lose. Diana already got a combo off. If I TP now, my team's already dead. Their team's all alive. They have stuff still, but they have heal, they have ignite, they have CC. Like, no, I'm not going to do anything here. My TP would have been bad there. And again, that's the threat assessment. Like, what do they have compared to what I have? So Rumble now pings my TP. In this moment, they're overextended. My Rumble's coming. He has ultimate. I can make this TP work. I shove in the wave too, which, you know, gives me some XP for level 12. I have some Fury built up. Well, a little bit Fury. Not really. So I come in. Looking over the wall. Rumble ults. They're trying to take the plant. I WR. Do a nice combo there. Now, I think I could have killed the Diana here. I think I could have actually killed her here. But instead, I flash away in panic. And Vayne ends up getting killed because of me. I also thought Diana would die, but she got very lucky. Yeah, I misplayed this. I could have killed her, but I kind of chickened out of it. I was really like cringing here too, because I was like, oh god, I got my Vayne killed, but you can't really focus about that. Just got to keep focusing on the present. So we kill Gangplank. I do give my shutdown to him though, due to my misplay. And yeah. This is a really weird fight. I wasn't so sure in the moment too, TPing. It was a lot better than before. And, you know, we still go 3 for 3. Not the end of the world, but Gangplank does get something from it. So he is benefiting. Their team is benefiting more than our team. So at the moment, we do have a kill lead, and we are, like, kind of playing it pretty well. But this game does start going very downhill, like, from now. So I'm covering mid lane, Kale's pushing top. A common trend with this Kale is that she's permanently, like, pushing and dying. Zyra's alone, we end up catching her with a Stride Breaker. Hit the kill on Zyra in retaliation to the Kale kill. Kale died here and nearly killed the Diana, but the problem is she keeps on losing us tempo on the map. Because she's dying in side lane, the enemy team's able to farm this out and they're also able to get more objectives. But in this moment of them being weak and of how it is, like, we can end up, like, cutting them off and coming. So I W the Kayn. This was only possible because I pinged it too. Because I pinged it on the map, my team reacted and we started running there. So again, it is more important to use your own pings to voice your opinion. And from that we get a kill and we build some momentum for us. So right now I'm going to back, going to get prepared for Dragon, putting my on the way ping. I think Rift Herald is super greedy. Especially with the Dragon, like, coming up right away. I think we back, run to Dragon while Kayn's still, like, dead. Gangplank also died too, so this would have been a perfect opportunity. I don't know if we actually get the Dragon here. I'm Asterix now, though. I am pretty strong. Vayne ends up dying. Really bad macro position. Again, like, this is what made the game hard. My teammates kept dying here, and I could keep dying too, but I managed to end up just being very even and playing, like, towards the flow of the game. Not in a negative manner, but a positive way. But our Vayne dies here. They are starting Dragon. We're at a very big disadvantage. I'm currently debating if we can fight it. I do have my Sterix and my ultimate ready, so I can try to force something here. I are here for Fury. Tried to get the Stride Breaker off, but I make the mistake of not assessing their strengths. Which is a common keyword in this game, like threat assessment. I didn't think about the Zyra, I didn't think about the Diana combo. So with that, I get one shot because I have no magic resist. I die, and we end up having to concede the dragon, and Cal dies, and we give up more gold. So that was a really huge mistake by me there. We just had to give up the dragon in that moment. My team does come back a little bit. I'm walking in now, trying to see what I can do. I want to get the bot farm here. I haven't been farming a lot this game. So in this time, I'm going to take like the opportunity to farm up. I have my TP coming right up, so if there is any like bad players, I can TP and try to salvage something out of it. We are currently fighting, and with us fighting, I'm thinking, okay, do I need to teleport here? With us being in a very, like, worrying position and Ezreal roaming up, I think I end up taking the risk to teleport, do I? I can't remember, because I played some games after this. Okay, I don't actually. Thank God. I take the tower instead, which is the correct play here. Because if I'm TPing, I doubt we can actually get any kills, and we would definitely lose fights. They are by far stronger with the Diana and the Ezreal at the moment. Gangplank too, he can provide a lot of damage for that team. So I get the tower. Back away now. Let me drink some water real quick. Stay hydrated. So like I talked about the dragon fight, Zyra and Diana do a lot of damage, and most of the game they were like half healthing, like most of my team were one-shotting even. So on this back, I buy Renekton Cloak because it is 50 magic resist for 900 magic resist. That is so huge. Wait, did I say 900 magic resist? I mean 900 gold. Like, it's really good for the stats. Or, I mean, it's a little bit... I think the price is really good, actually. I think it's a really good item, personally. Because now Diana can't exactly one-shot me through all the health from, like, my ult and the health I'm building. So, it'll buy more time in team fights. If I can, like, tank the Diana and Zyra combo, I can end up just, like, being a big threat and a really great front line for my team. And with this Renekton Cloak, I am building Abyssal Mask. I think Abyssal Mask is a pretty good item. It gives you more damage, like 15%. Really good stat value. It's better on full ID Renekton, but for this game, I kind of thought, alright, I'm just going to build Abyssal Mask. Just do a little bit more. So I'm pushing bot lane. I'm watching the map right away. I ping my team to be careful. I don't want them dying, so I am pinging. So in this moment where you are split pushing, you don't want to just be like watching your team at the same time. Now, the enemies are missing, so I'm just going to go out of vision now. Walk towards my team. Herald his bot lane so we can buy some time. Looking for a flank opportunity mid lane. Kel once again dies. We then have to try and like rush mid. We can't really do much, so we have to just disengage out. This play was super desperate. This is a play that goes off like emotions. Like I talked about in my last video. If you get too emotional with your plays, you're going to end up doing things like this. And had we have like messed up a little bit more, or like overstayed, we would all die. They get Baron and they can like take all the towers and end the game. So you don't want to go off emotions. You want to think logically what the best play is. In this moment, we should just back off. We got some damage on tower. We played it pretty well here, but if we did greed a little bit more, which can easily happen in solo queue, we can end up easily dying and throwing our leads away. Or like any type of strengths away for our team. I am being out-farmed currently, but there's not much I can do. Like, my job is to play with my team. We are a team fighting comp with the Lulu, the Rumble, me, like, just going in and tanking. So I'm kind of playing off my team, and I am giving resources to my carries. If my Vayne gets her items, she's going to be a threat. So I am taking that into account. I am just, you know, taking one for the team. Lulu ends up getting chunked. I'm walking in just to like pressure, get my strike breaker off. I was looking for another play, but I ended up like noticing Ezreal and Diana were there. So if I did overcommit to anything, I'm most likely dead. So take that threat factor into account, and I back away. Right now, I'm looking for my flank opportunity. Dragon is soon spawning too. So we made this decision of running to Baron. So in this moment, they want to get this dragon. They want to be closer to Soul Point. Being at Soul Point means the enemy team has to be more pressured and emotional in being able to stop it. So they can't think logically, which is what I talked about in my last few videos. And the only way we counter this and keep calm-minded is by doing the Baron. So we try and rush Baron here. It was very dangerous and I wasn't exactly fond of it, but we do stop them from doing the dragon by rushing it. I mean, we didn't exactly stop it. Like, we don't end up really doing much here, which is pretty unfortunate, but we kind of have to bleed out on objectives, sadly. So it's worth a try seeing how they react. Now they take dragon. We noticed that Zyra also walked in the bush here, because I was like looking on the map. Like, pay attention to my pings. Zyra is here. I'm pinging it. I ping again. We are reacting. We catch the Zyra. Two of our teammates do die, however, from bad positioning, but we do get the kill. That does give them Baron then, unfortunately. I think so, at least. Should do. Did they go for it or not? Yeah, they do. We can't stop it. So we have to bleed out even more. And in this moment, we just want to clear the minion waves. Walking up, trying to provide some vision in case the enemies are here. Like, sometimes after Baron, enemies will, like, overstay, walk through the jungle, and then, like, wait here. So I do, like, kind of just walk up with that intention in mind and, like, that foresight. Fortunately, no one was here, so I can just, like, walk up and go to ward. So I get the ward down, clear the camp. Rumble dies. I try and tank for the Vayne by frontlining here. Vayne ends up dying. Ezreal lives. Lows heal and flash. Lulu dies, and it's looking very losable. At this moment, I kind of started to lose a little bit of hope. Now, we still do have a Cal, Vayne, and Lulu on our team, and even Rumble as well. But, you know, I did have that little bit of doubt. And all I can do right now is just stand mid and, like, try and prevent them from taking our Nexus. They are very low. I could look to, like, try and go in, but if I die, it's not going to do any favors. I'm going to give more gold away. I'm going to die. I'm not going to be synced up with my teammates being on the map. And that just gives the enemy more opportunities to set up players and take more of our towers in other lanes. Like, if I die now, they take our top tower. That's how it is. So, because I didn't, like, look for some emotional play, I end up, you know, living, and then I can defend the tower, and the enemy has to reset, and can't really funnel more gold into their team, which is what they need if they want to keep on being our composition. Mr. Cannon there, rip. So backing right now, I get my Abyssal Mask. In a pretty good spot. We see Gangplank. I'm just walking around. Kayle did not have a good game by any means. Kayle kept on throwing by doing these things. She didn't think about the enemies whatsoever. So she ends up trying to fight it. Kayle should be walking up here right now, knowing that the enemies could be, like, coming from here. But for some reason, she overstays, tries to fight the Gangplank, and gets one shot just like that. Now, we lose another carry on the map, and we have to bleed even more resources. Give up tower because of her death. Like, this is why you need to be careful too of your own deaths. Because the same thing can happen to me and you. Like, I could die here, then they can take our towers. Like, it's these things you have to take into account. Like, is it worth dying here? No, because we then lose all this. And if you're playing like a moron and just constantly pushing or trying to take fights that are unwinnable, like, it's just throwing the game, and that's just what kept happening here. I couldn't really do a lot here. I have to defend bot here. I do want to go mid lane, but my team gets engaged on. It looked winnable, so I started walking over. They end up dying, and then I just try and like save our tower here. And like that, their team gets a quadra kill because of the way we played it. So this game is lost now. Well, that's why we shouldn't give up. My team was surrendering like any chance they had this game. The Lulu was giving up. They kept spam voting. I kept voting no, trying to give the game, you know, more tries. And because we, you know, I know my win condition. I know we can still win fights with our comp. We end up, you know, keep playing the game out. I mean, we end up, like, stalling the game out. And then Kale becomes Kale. So Kale saved the game now. In this moment, our strength was always our team fighting, and our team never really did that. But if we tried to team fight like at least once, we'd actually win the game. And as long as Diana doesn't pick us out. So the game was only made hard because we kept split pushing. We have to group up and win the game. That is our objective. So I TP in now so I can get to the dragon fast. Take the dragon. Look to back now. Clearing the minion waves. So right now we're just grouping with ourselves. We see Zyra, Kayn here. I end up warding, trying to disengage now. So in this moment, our team is motivated from that KO play, and we understand what our condition is to win the game. We have to group and play off the Kale and Lulu. In the vein too, like, our whole team is just godlike. I don't know why we didn't try to team fight before properly. Yeah, now because we reached late game, Kale can basically like kill everyone. Ezreal dies. Huge play by Rumble. Baron is spawning. Because Ezreal's dead, and perhaps they're on the Baron, we do just end up shoving the mid lane because the enemies can't really do much. I have my flash up. In my mind, I want to focus on Diana. If I can peel for my team here and make it so like my team doesn't like die to the Diana and we can kill her, we end up winning the game. So right now, we are being very hesitant on the flanks, like where Diana is. Run towards the Baron. Ezreal is still dead. I plan to ward down to gather some information if anyone's running from this path. I see Diana and Gangplank. What is my job as a top laner at the moment? We already have enough bursts from the Vayne and Kale on this Baron. And Rumble too. I keep neglecting Rumble. Rumble's actually pretty good. Like, he's good and he can like do a lot. But anyways. I have to buy time for my team. So Rumble ults. I ult in. I walk towards them, zone them off the pit. Like, if I gave Diana a chance to jump in, she would land a 5-man ult, and our team would get one shot, and we'd lose the game. 100%. So with the way I'm playing, I'm making it so they can't enter the pit. So Kane's dying, he's getting no help. Zyra's zoned off by the Lulu, and then I'm zoning off the Gangplank and Diana. Like, this is really good positioning and macro here by me. So I'm just like zoning them, walking in and out. My team's killing the Kayn. I then go in the pit because they're struggling. Kill the Kayn. We killed the Zyra. And like that, we're now pushing mid lane. So Diana was around here and I tried to stop any backs. Diana ended up being here, so I immediately panic, W, flash, strike breaker, then E out. I have to get out. If I don't do that, she ults and I die. And I want to make sure I'm alive, so I have a Baron buff to abuse. And, you know, she has a little bit less resources too. So we're pushing mid. Now I go bot lane. Mid inhib is down. What do we do after mid inhib? We go side lane. I ping bot lane, so my team's on the same page as me. I throw multiple pings down. I run bot lane now. Running down here. Rumble's with me. Cal's on opposite side of the map, which is fine. She has TP. I think Lulu and Vayne should be bot side here. Personally. Now, I was very scared of them dying, so I begin to recall just in case. Like, I could stay and look for a tower kill, but Gangplank's going to stop me anyways. Like, Gangplank's pretty strong with his build. I think he could 1v1 me based on, like, his setup. So there's not really much I can do here. I just end up backing because I really don't want my team to die. Buying towards Guardian Angel so I can survive and peel more in the fights. Guardian Angel also prevents a mental advantage where if the enemies do burst you down and kill you, they have no resources left. And then, you know, your team can like end up winning the fights because they've used everything on you. Also, by having that GA, that can like discourage people to focus you first. They'd rather focus someone without the GA. And, you know, I'm free to do whatever I want. I can peel even harder for my team. I can do, you know, moderate damage with Bruiser build. Like, there's a lot I can do with it. Like, that GA is more than just, you know, respawning. It presents you a mental advantage, and it keeps your teams, like... I mean, it keeps, like, the enemies thinking, like, on how to play against a GA Renekton. Or a GA team member. But now we're just de-warding, trying to give us, like, a play. I mean, we're just de-warding, like, for Dragon, and we're also just, like, trying to stealth. Stay in Fog of War. They can't really see us here because we're denying vision. Zyra's basically out the fight. This gives us a chance to look for something here. Kale goes in. I ult. I'm going to stun the Diana so she can't play the game. I'm going to jump in. Front line for my team. We're slowly just winning the game here. Killing them all. And like that, we win the game. A game that was on the verge of losing. And to Kale's credit, while they were playing pretty bad and like split pushing most of the game, that play saved us and it allowed us to buy more time. And it was very easy surrenderable. Like, any other top laner probably would have surrendered this. They probably would have been like, oh, this is a team gap, we can't win. But I really tried to just, like, stick in there. I tried to play my role. I had belief in my team comp. And because of that, I managed to keep playing consistently. I won, you know, I helped win the game for my team. I was an important asset for the team comp by going Bruiser, being a tank. And like that, we win the game. A game isn't over till the end screen. That's how you have to view the game. If someone is trolling and you generally don't have any scaling whatsoever based on your own knowledge pool on what you know about the game, then sure, maybe the games can be over. But games like this, there's so many people that still give up. I've played against comps like this where the top laner will give up on like a Vayne and Kale. Champions that are made for late game. And it really bothers me because top lane is a role where you are naturally higher level than everyone else. And if you use that level and item advantage you get from being solo lane, you can often be a big presence in games. And this is something I struggled with a long time playing top lane myself. Like, I was very selfish. I didn't really try and do a lot of things for my team. But since I made the swap to teleport and I've tried to organize my playstyle to cater towards my teams, I'm often winning, like, way more of my games. I probably have, like, nearly 70 to 80% win rate at the moment just by doing all this. So it really does make a big difference just trying to play the games out. Like, it really makes a huge difference. But yeah, that's the review though of the Gangplank matchup. It wasn't just so much the lane. Like I think it was a really good laning phase, but it was also like knowing how to come back from being behind. I was using my pings properly. I was playing my role. I was being in the right place at the right time. These are the things you need to do if you want to play super well as a top laner. That's all I'm trying to preach for this VOD. It's just trying to be consistent, don't give up, and play to your win condition. If you have a comp like this, don't give up. Tell your team what your win condition is. Let them know that you scale. Not you as like Renekton. I mean, you do scale technically, but I mean things like if you have a Kel Vayne, like let them know like what you have to do. A lot of solo queue teammates don't know what to do. You have to tell them. If you're just idling in side lane doing nothing, like just clearing minions, you're wasting time you could communicate with your team. As long as it's in a positive manner and it's not to negatively impact people's mindsets, then communication like that is perfect. And that will win you a game. I mean, that could very well increase your chances to win a game by at least 30 to like 50%. For real. Like, even like if that doesn't seem like enough, that is still like that little bit of advice and that insight can boost your team's morale and their understanding of how to play things. And you can win a game. Like, try it for yourself, guys. Like, seriously, try it for yourself. I guarantee you'll be winning more games. Period. But yeah, that is all that needs to be said. Thank you guys very much for watching the VOD review. I really appreciate it. We are currently super close to 200 LP, which is my goal at the moment. I need like 2 more wins. So I'll keep you guys updated how my rank climb is going. With that being said too, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you comment. That gets my videos more like commenting makes it so the algorithm can pick up my videos more, and the more positive engagement that I have, the more my videos will show up in when you type Renekton, for example. And I really do want to build my community. So make sure to leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you like about the video. If you don't like the video, dislike, give me some criticism. Whatever it might be. I'm just trying to improve as a content creator. I'm very open to everything, you know. So feel free to hit me up with anything. But yeah, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe. Check out my stream, Godrekton_ on twitch.tv. Follow my Twitter, Godrekton247x, if you want some updates or anything like that. I am trying to use Twitter a little bit more. So yeah, check that out. Check my Discord out, which is in the description below. My personal Discord and my Renekton Man's streaming Discord. I mean, Renekton Man's Discord and my personal server. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm really bad when it comes to plugging myself, so yeah, it is a mouthful to me, admittedly. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Have a good one.